All right, now we are officially recording another edition of Sunday Market Outlook. It is September 29th, 2024. I got Brent in the house with me, and we got our special guest, Luis Rodriguez, in the building as well. So excited to hear from him, guys. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and kick this off. So I'm going to mute myself and shut up so Brent can get straight into it.
Let's get it, bro, because we have a busy week here in the forecast. Like I always say, when you're watching the weather forecast and you see the dude come out in the suit, that's when you know weather's about to get serious. And this is this week for sure. I am that dude in the suit. So it is serious right now. As far as the news right now, obviously Sundays we rarely see anything. So right now nothing's happening. But when it comes to tomorrow, we have a heavy week. Quick little reminder, those that are new or you're remembering here, just a little refresher. We don't want to fall in the smoke of what's saying in the news. We want to make sure we still follow in the discipline of our trading plans, right? Of our strategies. We're looking at the charts. The charts speak to us, the candles speak to us. We follow always our own strategies that we have. We're following through akashx, everything, the whole nine, what we're learning. Just remember that the news will always say the easiest way that I explain this is the market, the institutions know that they want to go from here to here, and it's going to take them maybe a week. But with news, they could take it into 60, 90 seconds, right? That's really what news is. So make sure you are just prepared and you're ready for this. Now, going into that, Monday. Monday's the last day of the month. Always the last day of the month. It gets crazy. It gets spiky. It likes to move a lot. Remember, guys, when we trade, and that's why I really don't trade much Fridays, right? Because I call it for Fridays, it's at that point, I want to make sure it's correction Fridays is what I call it. The market corrects to where they originally had their plan. When the market opened Sunday, they said, hey, you guys need to be here. And if you're not here, you're done. So everything has to correct, right? So at that point, the month is the exact same thing. The month started and it said, hey, by the end of the month, we need to hit our quotas, and this is where we need to be at. So the end of the month, when it gets a little bit crazy, it might disrespect a lot of times your analysis. And maybe that's the main purpose of it, right? But to add a little bit more to it, we're closing out the month with our buddy Powell. Now, those that trade with me and that traded with you last week, you know that Powell and I right now have a little bit of a grudge. We're not very happy with each other because Powell didn't bring the energy. Powell did not do anything in my live session. I was waiting for it because it's rare that Powell speaks during my live session, and he did nothing. But I brought the heat, so it's all good. We caught some pips. So Powell better bring it. Better bring it. Better bring it tomorrow because I will be ready. No live session, but I'll be ready to trade with him tomorrow. We'll see what he comes out, what he says. So we have that at 12:55. Before that, we have the Chicago PMI, another set of news that likes to move. So we have a busy morning tomorrow, right away, opening the week. Following to that, we have the first day of the month. First day of the month, the same situation, right? The market likes to get crazy at that point. So with the first day of the month, we start off with ISM manufacturing PMI, JOLTS openings, ISM manufacturing prices, construction spending, Ward's torque. This is another important one that it's not that it's going to move heavy on the candle side of things in the charts, but it's important just for us to start looking at numbers because it's another leading indicator for recession, just like it is for housing. Again, we're not financial advisors, guys. It's just experience that we had throughout the years and from what we learned, right? So Ward's total vehicle sales is an indicator that can use heavily to see as far as recession, where we're at or where we're not at with that one. But right away, we have that. Now, once I go over the week, I'm going to say one more thing and we're going to go back to the first because something very important might happen on the first. Tuesday, non-farm. So again, another big movement. I like what time that's happening. That's happening at 7:15 a.m. So Central Standard Time. Gold NAS likes to move around 7:30. So we might get a nice little impulse 7:15. 15 minutes later, we get a nice move. And then an hour later for the opening bell, another move. And then an hour after crude oil's inventory. But this one is actually a little bit red. And it might be because of what's happening the day before. Again, we'll touch on that right now when we get to the end. But another big day, Wednesday. We're not over yet. Thursday, unemployment claims. We get right away smacked with unemployment claims. Good timing, 7:30. As I mentioned, 7:30 is a good time for the market to move as it is. And then we have the news. That's even better. 8:45, final services, PMI, 9 o'clock. We have ISM services. So again, good movements, right? 7:30, we have a big move. 8:45, we got a nice move. 8:30, sorry, 7:30, we have a big news move. 8:30 bell. 50 minutes later, we have another move. And then 50 minutes later, another move. So we'll have a lot of back and forth happening or a very strong rally in one direction. So very happy for Thursday. Thursday, I think, is one of my favorite days so far because we could see a very consistent move, right? We could see an up, down, up, down, up, down, and take advantage of that, or we could see very much an up, retrace up, downward, same thing down, retrace up, down. So I think we could get a nice amount of pips when it comes to Thursday because we have multiple sets of news in that period of time, which is great. And a lot of it will happen during, at least, or somewhat will happen through the live session. So I'm excited for that. We should have a lot of volume, especially NAS. NAS likes to move with this set of news, and then happening at that time, we should get some big chunks of pips at that point. So obviously, we follow our proper risk management plan. We don't go crazy, but it's just exciting to see what can happen Thursday. Close out the week with a non-farm change, average hours earning, unemployment rate. We know it's kind of the new FOMC. Unemployment rate moves heavily to the market at that point, and we close the week out with it. So heavy week, all the first week of the month. We close out heavy tomorrow of the month, and then the entire week we have a ton of sets of heavy news. What's important for you if you're just starting right now to understand is that you need to make sure you follow your rules. If you're with TradexMastery and you received a free account, which if you're not in akashx yet, you literally have today and tomorrow to join akashx and get a free 10K account. This free 10K account with TradexMastery will not have the news add-on. So you need to make sure you follow those rules. You don't trade 2 minutes before, 2 minutes after, all that good stuff. But don't have that FOMO situation of like, oh, I can't do it, I'm going to miss it. No, understand that when news moves, it always leaves, right? That pre-news, news, post news. So you could still catch that post rather than the pre, so you don't get stuck in a trade, but you could still catch some of that post. But more importantly is just to understand what time that's happening so you don't breach any of your contracts. Now, if you did buy your own and you have the add-on, let's have some fun for sure this week. It's going to be a great week. We're obviously going to manifest it. We're going to speak properly. We're grateful that the market's going to be abundant with us this week because there's going to be lots of movements. Now, before I close out and pass it over to Rich and then over to Lise, Tuesday. Obviously, this is speculation. A lot of it's on major news media outlets, things of that nature. It's not something that we know for sure, but there is already the rumor, right? There is already some speaking as far as the ports closing. This happened in 2020. This happened before, and I think it was like 90 something, 80 something, where the ports end up closing. Something important. You guys know that I love conspiracy theories, and I've said this before, really, where things could really get heavy, and something that's taken very lightly is a lot of times the truck drivers. Truck drivers, if they say, hey, strike, we're not doing nothing, that halts the economy heavy. Obviously, it's not like in a day that we see it, but you do see it as far as bigger companies in the long run, and especially as time goes, you see what could happen, right? With the ports, it's the same situation. A port closes, not only it affects as far as our economy internally, right? Not having enough in the stores or this or that, but at the same time, it affects relationship with other countries. So if this does happen Tuesday, we could definitely see a very big shift in the market at that point, because on NAS side, you're going to have a lot of companies being affected because they're not going to have their products. So there's nothing to deliver at that point because there's nothing that they're able to pick up. So it stops sales. And then on the other side of it, it could affect the US dollar, which we see that moving on gold. Again, there's many pairs that we trade here in akashx, but the majority of us, especially us three here, the majority of what we trade is gold and NAS. I know Luis likes to trade some forex pairs in US 30, but US 30 does the same thing as NAS in a sense. It's still 30 stocks that are based in the US. So something to pay attention to. As always, don't fall into the fear of the media outlets and this and that. It's nothing that's brand new. It's happened before in the past. So again, it's not good, but it's nothing that we haven't gone through already. But just be prepared. If you start seeing the market act very strangely at different times, you see big spikes random in the day, that could be a reason at that point, because a lot of times we don't hear about that until after, right? We see the market move and then we hear about the news of, hey, this is negotiated, not negotiated, there is a strike, there's not a strike, this is what they're asking for, all that type of stuff. So again, important set of news just to look at, to be prepared, nothing to freak out. You don't need to go and buy all the toilet paper in the store, guys. Like a lot of times that doesn't even go through the ports. So don't fall into what the outlets are saying. It's more of just being ready, being prepared in the charts. Make sure you set your stop losses as always. Make sure you follow rule number one. Rule number one is never underestimate the other guy's greed. And in trading, you are the other guy. So just make sure we take all the pips that we can at this point and follow our plans. But that is it for me for the news. I'll pass it back to you, Rich.
All right, let's get it, guys. So I know we've been talking about this for like a couple of weeks now that we were into some pretty like fundamental heavy environment. These next couple of weeks, we really went through last week, which was really good. I think honestly, all the educators have been crushing it as a whole. Especially gold. It's just so much volatility right now, which is a good thing. And that was a word that I think a lot of people, when they first get into trading, they kind of fear. They hear that word volatility and they associate it with something negative. But it's like, guys, if you want to make money, we need the market to move, right? So it's just about understanding how to capitalize on it. So we're gonna jump into some charts here real quick. I don't know if real quick, Lewis, you had a comment on news, or if you just want to like wait until we get into the charts to go over some stuff.
Let's go into the charts.
Yeah, for sure.
Right
All
away.
right, cool. Yeah, so we're gonna break down gold first, guys, and then we'll get into NAS. And then if Lewis wants to cover any other pairs or instruments that he tackles on, feel free to do so, man. Me and Brent, we usually just go over gold and NAS because that's all we trade. But I know you have a little bit more in your repertoire, so we'll be cool to see that too. But yeah, let's get into gold real quick here first, guys. All right, so pulling up gold. Oh, and I know Brent, I know Brent for sure got an update for y'all with some crypto stuff because let's just say if you've been on the Sunday market outlooks, I mean, just go look at the recording last time and then we'll talk about some cryptos today. But yeah, for gold overall, at least the way that I've look at the markets, guys, my perception of how I see price action and everything is with looking at things like liquidity, imbalances, market structure. And so, I mean, if nobody's told you that gold is bullish, I'll just tell you right now, gold has been bullish for a very long time. I mean, we can just really see the rally that we've had for, my God, I don't even know how long. I mean, if you've just been buying gold all year, like you haven't lost. I mean, really. But right now, what I've noticed is we've come in on the 4-hour time frame to fill in some of the imbalance that we had from this very strong candle right here. Obviously a lot of people are going to be chasing the sells at that point. We see that nice little rejection to the upside. So that area of imbalance definitely was a factor that I would be looking at and seeing that price respected it pretty well. That's one area that I would be looking at. The second thing I'm looking at is on the smaller time frames, like the 1 hour and the 30-minute. There's really two areas that we're gonna be kind of ping-ponging between, and we'll see who comes out on top until I really see like some very aggressive continuations of breakup structure to the downside. I'd probably be more on the bullish side overall for now. But really the two things that I'm looking at, because I'm not really actively trading gold, guys, but we like to break down this at the beginning of every week. We saw that gold, obviously had this peak. We had a nice little rejection, failed to make new highs, and now broke another low. However, we're going to be pitted between two different spots for me personally. Number one, we just saw that we shifted structure above these supply zones right here. So we saw that we kind of pulled back, made a new low, and now we've shifted right back above. And then the second area that I'm looking at is this last up candle before we had the break of structure to the downside. So number one, I personally wouldn't touch gold outside of New York much, but we do see a lot of movement that comes for gold during London sometimes, especially when we're starting off the week. But essentially what we're really going to be looking at is how price reacts now that we are at this candle right here. Because if we just follow the structure from here to here, this was that first real strong impulse to the downside. We pulled back, failed to make new highs, as we can see very clearly, and now we have broken structure below all of this, right? So overall, on this time frame, I would say, again, it's looking like we want to go bearish, but overall, if we go back to the higher time frames, it's still kind of early for me to say that it's a bearish market. The only real key level that I would indicate here is like that 25.90 price point, where we know we've seen price kind of react around there. We had that news that one day that spiked us here. So I would love to see if we are going to push bearish for the long haul as a swing type of play to get back to this area. However, in general, you probably want to be on the side of the trend, especially when it comes to gold, which is bullish. So that's kind of my perception right now. I know that Brent and Lewis are more active in the gold market, but I do see us having the potential of, you know, rejecting around this area and coming back down at least to here for a pretty nice move. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. If we, you know, get a small rejection here and then end up breaking and closing above this, then that would really be some strong indications for us to continue to new all-time highs and maybe reach for that 2,700 psychological number. So everything is really going to kind of depend on, for me, you know, how we react off of here. Are we going to respect that and make new lows? Or are we going to just have a temporary rejection like how we kind of already had to start off the week to maybe just fill in some of this initial push and then shift back bullish and attack these highs? That's how I see gold right now. So I'll stop sharing. I don't know if you want me to leave the chart up, Brent, or if you just want to pull up yours.
Yeah. If you could leave it there if you want to really quick. If you put it to the
All right.
1 day, which I know that's not me,
Daily?
right? But put it
Yeah.
to the day, yeah. So if you want to just zoom out kind of a little bit back. So I know right now it's not drawn out. I'm not going to draw it really quick because I know we don't want to take too much time here, right? But so right now that top wick is a fifth wave. And
Oh, okay.
the number one wave, Elliott wave, is here with us. Luisito, so he's the one who taught me Elliott waves. So what we need to do is that today, the first day, right, that we're in, that the market that opened needs to close bearish, and the next one confirms that we're going down. So this could finally be the drop of gold, but it's hard for me because you have to remove those emotions, but I'm a human being. I like selling gold. So it's like my subconscious is just like, please, please sell, 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 sell. So it's like I don't want to fall in love with it. Anything on the short time frame, it's like what you said, Rich. It looks nice to where it could drop to like 75 and buy. It looks like it could drop all the way down if it wanted to, a low, low, low like that, but not even that low, right? But it's more maybe those little retracements to continue buying, little back. But if we actually end bearish, that's a confirmation that we're good. We're dropping. We could go all the way back down to where gold needs to be at that 2320, 2240. Like we could finally see a whole week of a bear rally for the entire week. And we have enough news to make it go down there. I know that's really far, but if you look at it, how fast gold went up, law of polarity, it could go fast really down, right? Like there's no difference at that point. We literally, in a week, literally gold had that big jump in the matter of a week. So in the matter of a week, we can have that big drop too, right? There's not really much of a difference. And we have a lot of news. It's the end of the month, beginning of the month. So we have enough. So really, that's all I'm waiting for right now. If we close bearish, that confirms the fifth wave, we drop. If we close bullish, then I look for those little retracements and buy.
Are you talking on the
That's
daily
what I got
time
for
frame,
gold.
by the way?
Yeah, daily. So I need the
Daily.
daily to end. I need the daily to end bearish. With the candle that's active right now needs to end bearish. If that one ends and closes bearish, then we're good to sell. We're good to start looking at sales at a bigger picture, and we're good to slide and go all the way down. But if it ends bullish, then it'll go back up to the highest high. If it stays, then it could still kind of play back and forth. But if not, once it breaks that high, then we're gone. And then we look for a new fifth wave now. And it just keeps on going and going and going like it has been. So it's unfortunate because I scalp and I wish I could see more, but I'm just not seeing nothing in the short time frame right now. The only thing that I see clear is that. Only thing that I see clear is if we end bearish, we confirm the fifth wave, we drop. If we don't end bearish, then we keep in this BS of back and forth until it keeps on breaking new higher highs. And like you said, really the only thing that I'm looking at right now, as far as highs, are that psychological institutional numbers 27, 28. Like there's not really a specific number to where like, oh, it's going to go here because it hasn't that reached there. So there's nothing we could go and look back at it. But yeah, that's it for me. I don't know, Luisito, if you have anything to add as far as on gold.
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
stop sharing so he can
hold on a
share.
second. I got lots of stuff to share with the team here. By the way, I'm back into the city of Chicago. It's been a really cool 30 days that I've been going around the States. I'm back here one more week and I'm back to Canada. So I'm taking it easy this week, not doing much, just trying to get back into my thing. All right, can I share the screen here quickly?
Yeah, you're co-host, so do your thing.
All right,
You should be able to do everything.
let's talk about trading here. All right, I got a lot going on my screen. One of them. First, I want to share a few things that I've been looking into the NAS for the past few days. All right. NAS is hitting an area right now that is literally right on the edge of a flat correction and an Elliott wave. All right. I'm looking at the chart right now on the 4-hour time frame. That's my spot. 4-hour time frame. That's the time frame that we should always be paying attention to. And we're literally sitting on the edge of a potential drop on the market. All right. What NASA is doing is a complex correction in the Elliott wave. It's called a complex flat correction, and it's sitting right on the edge. All right. I have too many confluences sitting on NAS right now that is giving me a clear instruction that two things is going to happen very soon. Or either it's going to go a little bit higher because we're just too close to an area where there's a lot of liquidity sitting. That was the highest point of NAS before. So because of inducement of price, NAS can potentially go higher because of the news events that are going to happen also this week, go a little bit higher, but the drop on NAS is for sure, all right? Based on all the numbers and all the confluences that we're having on NAS right now. So as a swing trader, that's what I should be looking. Now, as a scalper, as you guys know, I only use Elliott wave if I'm preparing myself for any swing trades. But if I'm doing a scalping, I don't use Elliott wave at all. I just use it as my map to understand where the market is going. All right. And what I see on the market right now is that it's preparing for a huge drop. But before doing that, look where we are standing right now. It might go a little bit higher, right to our 88.60 of our fifth tool, possibly a little bit higher into this liquidity void, and then pushing back down. All right. And when it drops, it's gonna drop hard because we have all this area here. Like, where is my tool? We got all this area here to fill up all of this, all of that. And it can potentially go all the way here, even past that. All right. So you guys need to pay attention on this week for what the NASA can do. All right. All right. So I'm gonna switch now to gold. And I want to talk about gold because I've been trading gold quite a lot in the London sessions. As you guys know, I've been doing a London marathon for the past 3 weeks. This is gonna be my last week doing London. And the reason why I did that was because I wanted people to master the London sessions because they are very cool to trade. And when you trade London, now you have basically 2 chances to hit the market and win during your day. So what I do usually, I trade London maybe for 20 minutes, get my trades going on. If I see opportunities, if I don't see anything, then I go into the New York market. But the point is to get the most I can in 2 sessions. But I've been trading a lot of gold in London because gold just moves super cool in London. All right. And I know Brent was talking about Elliott waves and with gold. And gold is definitely working on the 5th wave right now. But many people might ask, how far can gold go? How far can we go based on what we know, which is Elliott waves? And usually the 5th wave will go at 130% of the 1st wave, minimum. The question is, have we hit the 130% of that wave? Well, we can find out. Where is the 1st wave on that expansion? We got to see where the first wave is. And we're looking at the 4-hour time frame. We're going really far because this has been running for too long now. All right, let me take a look here. I'm gonna go do the daily here. Wow. Wow. If you go into the daily, It clearly shows you here. Okay, I see it here. All right, so let's do a quick analysis on gold. All right. So if this is the first wave, okay, going from here to here at 130%, right? You got 100% there, right? And let's see, 30%. See about that. Guys, this is the minimum that the Elliott wave can go. Like right there, we're hitting like that's the minimum. But it doesn't mean this is exactly the spot that is gonna drop. It reached the minimum of the highest point that it can go. But it still can go a little bit further. Honestly, with the momentum I see of gold and knowing how gold moves, I can see gold breaking the 2,700. Easy. I can still see gold pushing a little bit higher. All right. So knowing that, and again, I'm looking at the daily time frame, all right? So now going down all the way to the 4-hour time frame. Now you can see more structure, right? You can see better structure of what gold is doing. Now you can see, you need to start looking for the PD arrays. You can start looking for all this fun stuff that we know about trading, fair value gaps, to understand where gold can potentially bounce off and keep pushing up, all right? And I am going to now clear a lot of this fun stuff. Remove some. Oh. Just don't like when my charts are too overwhelmed with stuff. All right, now going to indicators again, my personal. I want to put my stuff to do this quicker. All right, so now look at that, guys. Beautiful. We have here in the 4-hour time frame, we have a very clear fair value gap in this area where price came down, grab liquidity, and now it's pushing up. Okay. So with the movement of gold, how it started this week, I can see gold again, at least reaching out these areas before having some reactions to it, potentially pushing back down. And again, just like Brent mentioned, we need to wait for the movement, wait for the candle closure to understand the direction of gold. All right. Just don't jump into any trade only because you reach an area. Wait for confirmation to understand where the price is moving. Wait for that momentum to start building. Okay. And that way, you guys are going to have better direction of your trades. All right. So again, I can see gold pushing higher for the next few weeks, maybe end of the month, and then potentially pushing down. For traders like me, we love this. We love to see this. Okay. You know, you guys want to know why I love to see this? And I explained that in one of my sessions last week. Because gold is breaking frontiers right now. It's reaching the highest numbers ever. Okay. And eventually, gold will drop. And when that drop happens, it's gonna go far. You can see it historically what happened with gold over the years. If I put this into the monthly, whenever gold reach a highest point, you can see it here. You can see it here. You can see it all over the place. Whenever you reach a highest point, then you see a drop. Then you see a drop. But that drop might take months. For swing traders like me, we take opportunities like that where we place a trade and we'll let it cook for months. And the outcome of that is insane. Insane. All right, just keep an eye on these areas, and eventually when the market give you direction that is going now to push in the opposite direction, get ready because there's a lot of money to be made here. All right. One thing that you guys should also take into consideration that gold is one of those instruments that likes to trend when there are events such as war. And as you guys know, there's a lot going on in the Middle East right now between Israel and, there's like a big conflict going on that is heating up right now. That's also part of why you see gold pushing higher and higher and higher lately. All right. One more thing that I want to share with you guys, it's also one of the things that I use a lot to understand what's going on in the market. This site here, if you guys want to take a note of it and open an account, especially for NAS, it's called seekingalpha.com. You can go in there and see what's happening with NAS, like all the latest news. It will tell you exactly what's the direction of the market if you guys want to understand what is really happening with every one of these companies. Because also whoever trade NAS needs to pay attention to those reports that happen at the end of the sessions, okay? Because they bring a lot of volatility into the market. It's not just what happened to the DXY, it's also what's happening to these companies that are printing reports at the end of the week, at the end of the session in the week, all right? All right, folks, from my end, that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys. It's been a pleasure, as always, and yeah, it's basically it for me.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you so much for breaking that down. I always love to get a different perspective and confluence when it comes to NAS especially. So I'm gonna be keen on keeping my eye out for the sells. But I'm curious on your take on this real quick when it
Yes.
comes to NAS, because we're gonna talk about NAS here now. So do you ever use like correlating assets? Like, for example, I've been talking about this in the last couple of our market outlooks, is that US 30 and the S&P 500 have been rallying to make all-time highs higher, and NAS is the only one that has not done it. And so part of my confluence was expecting at least to maybe get to all-time highs first, just to basically level off with the other indices, because they usually end up correlating again when they have a divergence. But I wanted your thoughts on that.
Well, you need to take into consideration what's really driving the NAS that is different than US 30 and ES 500, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are companies that these three indices have in common, but NAS is wildfire, right? And also the NAS is a little bit different because it's literally 100 companies. That means a lot to the United States. So one big thing that I take into consideration is what's coming very soon in the United States, which is elections, US elections. And it has a huge influence into what the market is doing. As you guys know, Democrats want to keep power Donald Trump. That's the bottom line
Yeah.
that they're focusing right now. So they don't want to make the economy look terrible. That's basically what I understand. So NAS is an index to understand how the economy is doing, right? One of them. So that's why you see all these indices trying to reach these higher numbers. But for NAS, it's a little bit harder than the other two indices that you mentioned, because all the other companies that are involved in this that have a huge impact, different than US 30 and ES 500. All right. ES 500 and NAS have a lot of similarity on how they move. Okay. Different than US 30. A lot different than US 30. But the NAS is one of those indices that kind of like what I call a wildfire, because it moves in both directions all over the place. But you need to pay attention a lot to, especially this. I'm still sharing my screen here.
Yep.
Yeah, for NAS, pay a lot of attention to this, the US 10-year bond.
Really?
Yes, you need to pay huge attention to that because there's a lot of companies that have loans on this, and how depending on how this index is moving, NAS will also react to it more than US 30. All right, sorry, more than the DXY. I don't know if you guys noticed that in many occasions, DXY is moving in one way, and NAS, it doesn't matter, just keep moving to the other direction.
What
Pay
about the VIX? Do you ever use VIX?
Yes. But mainly this year.
Yeah.
Pay a lot of attention to the US 10-year bond for this. All right. Not just the DXY.
Cool. Awesome. All right, man. Appreciate that. So you guys heard it, man. You guys heard it from the man.
Oh, one more thing before I go.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
For those who are trading euros, for example, that forex pair Euro USD, there's CPI this week. So pay attention to it because there's huge movement happening to the euro or any pair with the euro, okay?
Got you. Awesome, man.
The
All right,
goat,
so
man, the myth, the legend, Luisito. That what you see right there, guys, and that here I have to put this in perspective to make sure you understand, right? Rich and I, we've been in this now for 5 to 7 years, right? Because I keep on saying 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, but it's been a whole year that we've been saying 4 years, right? I
yeah,
just realized yesterday, where I was like, no, I'm like, wait, I started in October, so it's been 6 years. So I think it's been now like 6 and 7, something like that. And
yeah,
you see what we do every weekend, right, guys? What you just saw right now is 15 plus years of experience in the market. So just understand that if you're feeling frustrated in your first week in akashx and you want to do this and you're like, what the hell? It's not happening. Bro, this is 15 years of experience, okay? Like Luis obviously knows that I absolutely love Luis. He's one of my mentors. He's put me under his wing for many years. And really that's where I was able to scale up and learn all of this advanced stuff. So, and still even to that day, you have to really have that skill set, right? As you know, I'm an educator, I go live, I trade, but I always am honest, I'm not the best teaching, right? Elliott waves. And that's why I haven't really done a boot camp to like teach Elliott waves because it's hard for me to explain. I learned it thanks to Luisito, but Luisito actually has that passion of truly knowing how to teach it, guys. So make sure you tap into his sessions as always, not just into Rich Rides or tap in all the educator sessions. But if you like what you just saw and that's something you're like, man, I want to do that, just understand that you can do it. It's going to take you a little bit of time. Okay. Don't get frustrated if it's not happening in your first 30 days. All right. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it's awesome, Luisito.
for
Thank you. Thank
sure.
you for being the GOAT as always.
Always thank you guys. Thank you for taking me here. And yeah, we're gonna continue grinding. This is gonna be a very exciting week, I tell you that much. With the team that I've been doing the London sessions, I started a $1,000 challenge account once more. I already maximized that to 210%. So the account is sitting at $3,367 in 1 week. We're gonna keep grinding that account up to $1 million. That's gonna be my goal on this account. Not sure. I'm not gonna put a limit on it. I'm just gonna do it. It might take a year or so, but that's a goal. And we're
Yeah, I
doing
think
that
a
live.
thousand to a million a year is not bad, right, guys? I think that's all right. Yeah, I think
Casually,
it's all right. It's all right.
casually, casually, just 210% up in the week, just something, something. While I'm traveling around the United States,
Well,
just a
you
little.
know what? Since we're on the topic, right? Because I mean, we've done so much analysis, and you guys know that you're gonna catch our sessions throughout the week. And we're gonna give you guys, those day-to-day updates of price action, especially from Brent's with a scalper's perspective, and then myself as an intraday perspective with Nas, with my strategy. But we've kind of broken down. I think we all understand the direction more or less for Nas and for gold, which is really what we aim to do. Just to give people an idea of what to expect out of the markets, but that stuff shifts on a daily basis with news. So, but on the topic of, what, Lewis was mentioning with his challenge, right? I think, obviously nowadays with akashx's environment right now, a lot around funding, right? And prop firms and everything like that, which is great, right? It kickstarts a lot of traders, but we don't want you guys to have the limiting belief either that it's required or that you have to get funding in order to do trading. I mean, Brent was breaking down last week, growing his crypto portfolio. And I've told you guys about diversifying as well before, right? Getting into buying stock and being able to have a long-term investor mindset, swing trader mindset. You don't have to put all your funds into a forex account, right? You can diversify into futures, you can have stocks, you can own cryptos, you can really spread yourself a lot of different ways. So I know, Brent, we're gonna give you a few minutes as well to cover those updates on the crypto, but real quick for Lewis, what would you say, man, is like your risk management approach, and then also the psychology from doing these challenges of account flips over 15 years, that you could say like you had that shift in either the way you risk managed or the way that you handled seeing that account scale up really quickly to not go on tilt and throw it away? Like, what would you say is like your biggest tips for people when it comes to that?
That's a big question. Everything depends on how you want to tackle the market and what really matters to you. I like to, I take this very seriously. I don't do anything else. I don't even do multi-level marketing. I live off trading of 100%. So I take this very serious, and I try to tell people I'm not a gambler. I'm not a professional gambler. I'm a professional trader. So my main objective here is to protect my capital. So the one constant that we all have in the market is only what we know with what we can risk. What we can get out of any transaction, we don't know. We have an estimate. We're working with probabilities, right? So no, I only know what I can risk every day. So for example, in my case, I started $100, a $1,000 challenge, right? And I keep sharing that with everyone. So I said, okay, I have 5 chances to tackle the market. Okay, so I take that $1,000 and I risk $200 per every trade. And my goal is to maximize those $200, all right? Um, Obviously, I always close my transactions 1-to-1, but I only close partial transactions. I never close a full transaction, and I let the runner run to whenever it's gonna take me. It can go into the moon because I don't know. I have an estimate based on all of this, but the market can potentially go back down and hit me on my stop loss. And for most people that want to go a 1-to-3, 1-to-5, 1-to-7 on any transaction, when that happens, then you have a huge stop loss. So in my case, that's how I've been cranking up that account, hit 1-to-1, and then let the other 25 or 20% of that transaction to surprise me. Sometimes I go like this week, we did insane transactions where, for example, for US 30, we closed a transaction like 1 to like 10 or like 9. I can't remember what it was. But a lot of the transactions that we closed, the majority of them was 1-to-1. And I compounded that account up to a 210% in 1 week. So I went from $1,000 to $3,367. And this week I'm going to repeat the same thing. I might close a week with another $7,000. I'm doing that live so people can see that it's possible. You can do it with $100. You can do it with anything that you can, as long as you control your risk. That's the main thing. And always control what you know, the only constant that you have in the market, which is what you can lose, not what you can win. Keep that always in mind. And you see how your accounts, you're going to compound them and grow them until God knows when. But yeah, that's basically what I do. I've been doing it for a long time. That's what works for me. I know a lot of people do a little bit different. They want to go 1-to-3, 1-to-4, you win it or or lose it. But what matters here, really, that's what I tell people all the time. Listen, you're not going to be the king of the jungle if you are winning every single trade. You need to accept that in trading, there's going to be losses, but you need to control those losses. Period. You need to control them. You have no choice. Control those losses. If you hit like this week, I lost like what, like one trade. I lost $200 live. What happened on my next trade? I won like $700. So that's the thing. When you accept your losses and then maximize your profits, that's how you're gonna see those accounts growing over and over, over and over, over and over, nonstop. So basically,
Awesome.
that's how I do it. I've done it several times. I'm gonna do it one more time, live and documenting every single aspect of this.
That's amazing, man. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I see Joanne say this is so encouraging. 100%, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, like, we're in a community, right? But it's really you versus you. And sometimes you can get in your own head. Sometimes you can look at your current results right now and think that you don't see a path to how you're gonna change those results. But you have the community to not do the work for you or to make it happen for you, but for you to like learn from so that you can change from the inside out and then be able to duplicate. So like everything that Lewis just said, those are principles, right? Like everybody's gonna have a different strategy, right? Like I know obviously Brent and Lewis trade very similarly. He's a protege, right? I trade differently from these guys. Joel trades differently. I mean, we can literally go educator by educator, and there's some stuff that overlaps, some stuff that doesn't. But the principles, as far as how you see your capital, how you have your probabilistic thinking, keeping your psychology in check. Like there's some non-negotiables that if you guys start there, you'll realize the strategy stuff is something that you can develop and change over time, but you just got to build those pillars first to be stable. But man, awesome information. This is crazy that like we post this stuff for free on our social medias, and this is gonna be on YouTube and everything. And this is like nothing when you compare like what you get to akashx every single day for the whole year.
Oh man.
I'm just saying, bro. But Brent, real quick, man, I want to spotlight you here for your crypto updates, if you will. Do you want me to pull up my chart? So you're gonna do it on yours, or what do you want to do?
If you want to take a pull it up really quick, because I already have it drawn out at the percentage.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that way
go for it.
I will make you work, bro. You
Go
already
for
do a lot for the community, so I will make you work more. So here we have our nice little ADA play. So last week we were talking about, and it was crazy, right? We were randomly just speaking about like cryptos and diversity and everything. And I was like, let me go check really quick as we were on the call. Like, let me go check really quick my top favorite cryptos, right? And we saw ADA, charted right away, loved it, liked the buy. I took the buy. I don't know who else bought some. I just threw a couple $100 on my Coinbase, not because I'm not like heavily into it, but it was like, hey, it's just more of like, let me just throw a little bit there. I had some in BTC, so I just pull it over to ADA, let it do what it has to do, and then I'll send it back to BTC or I'll send it to whatever, let it have fun there. But yeah, we are good. So I don't know if you guys took that buy as well. Either I know for the US, we don't have a lot of options, but if you're outside, and I know there's a lot of people here on the Europe side of teams and other countries where you can actually like spot trade it. So if you took it as well, you definitely have some nice profits. But if you're like me, well, we grew pretty much, we hit a max point of almost 20% in the matter of a week. So that just shows you, right, the beauty of diversity. We literally went in, clicked one button, and then we went on with our week and went into the live sessions, took the tap to trades, took the trade alerts, did everything with our TradexMastery, tried it, and all the other stuff. And we just let this do what it did. And it went up almost 20% just clicking one button. If you're still in it right now, I mean, currently we are still sitting at, still even then at 13% growth, not doing nothing right with it. For me, I'm letting this one run because I've already purchased so much of it in itself throughout time. So it's more of that dollar cost averaging, and that's something more you want to probably learn from Todd. I know Todd, he's another educator that we have here. He's a goat in itself for years when it comes to crypto, and he looks more into these long plays. And I
Yeah.
think I saw Tony mention in the chat, in the akashx chat, that that's one of his favorite pairs too, which is crazy. I did not know that. So he's actually been calling this for years now. So that's cool. That's awesome at that point. But Armin obviously goes in and out. He does a lot of
Yeah.
plays as far as buying. So we have already crypto educators you want to follow, but this is a nice play. I'm still letting this one run, really, to be honest. If I had to cut my profits out, I mean, sure, I might let it go down to like 10% and then take it if I wanted to and maybe let it drop and go back in again. But personally, for this one, like I said, I'm letting it run. It is what it is because the cool thing about crypto, if it goes down back to zero and it goes negative, well, when it comes back up, we're cool. We're back in the game. So it's cool. That's what I do like about the crypto side of thing versus like the forex side. Once we get a stop loss, we get a stop loss, and we're done. This stuff we can let it there, and then it rises like the phoenix out of the ashes. Like, oh man, where did that come from? So that's a cool thing about crypto. And then crypto likes to follow a lot of gold. So, like we're speaking, right? If gold does this big burst where it continues hitting high and highs, we're going to see Bitcoin go up. And if we see Bitcoin go up, then we see all the other altcoins come up. So, with everything happening, we could definitely see more of a growth. And like I said, I do like ADA, so I'm going to keep on holding it for sure. But congratulations to you. And like Rich said, if you saw this on the YouTube and you're not even in the akashx, Bro, what are you waiting for? I just put some money in your pocket. Come on, come into akashx, get your free 10K with TradexMastery. Like, bro, thank you. That's good. All you could do is just send me a message and be like, thanks, Brent. You paid for my akashx monthly. I got you, bro. That's all it is, right? That's all you got to do. Not much. We don't ask for much than that, right? But no, just joking with that. But no, good play. And again, it shows you the benefits again of being here if you can be here, and understand that there's times different places of the world, the whole nine, but the benefits of saying, hey, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna immediately going to watch the replay, because you even catch little things like that on a free call. So this is amazing. Love doing what we do.
100%. Awesome, man. I'm proud of us for staying within the hour with 3 people on here. Definitely did not expect that, but we did well. But guys, to end this off, I know most of us are pretty much in akashx though. We have what, like a day before September ends to take advantage, I should say, of our current promo, right? So if you have been hiding under a rock for 29 days, you still have a day to wake up. Guys, if you are not 3 and free in akashx, if you are not 1K, like I don't know how else to say it, but like lock in, bro. Like lock in, because you have 24 hours, maybe a little bit more, to share this promo with anybody you know. 6 years ago, if you told me I had a $10,000 funded account to trade with, where I had none of my capital at risk, and I was able to go and leverage multiple educators, you only got 3 here, and there's like 12 other ones that are sending trades right now. Literally, like Joe's been sending trades since the market opened. This guy does not give the market a break. Like, I mean, it's a limiting belief. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, not everybody's a recruiter, guys. I totally understand that. I'm not the best recruiter. I'm not a 100K rank. I'm not Matthew Thayer right now. I'm not, one of the highest ranks. None of us on this call here are, right? And that's okay. But what I'm trying to tell you is like 3 and free, 1K. Like, you'll be so surprised when you just have confidence to talk about what we're talking about. You don't have to be the expert. You don't have to be like Lewis doing 200% in a week right now. You'll get there, right? But the point is that you are connected to the information and the value, and other people don't either know it exists or trust in it, right? So what the number one thing is you have to understand, guys, is you don't have to be the expert. You just need to bring in the trust. The experts are already here, respectfully. I'm not even going to count myself. Just Lewis on this call right now is like enough for somebody to join akashx. Just being real. Like, I could literally just have one educator, Lewis, on payroll, and I would be very confident to put people in akashx. Because, I mean, my God, he's doing it live, guys. Come on. So my point is that lock in, erase any limiting beliefs that you may have had these last 9-10 months, because we have less than 100 days in the year, and akashx is only as good as our weakest link. Always remember that. It's not about the top leaders that you guys see on flyers. They will be the first ones to tell you that akashx is only as good as the weakest link, right? How well can we get everybody to make sure that their accounts at minimum are connected to Tap to Trade, are knowing how to take trade alerts, have been properly onboarded, and going 3 and free? If you can be the example of going 3 and free and just leveraging what you have, my God, what we can do together to take akashx to where it could be, you don't understand how many doors that opens aside from just trading, right? So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Let's take advantage of it. As we have, like I said, about a day left for this promo. I would say we have all these up and coming events, but we've been knocking them out, man. Canada is a wrap, UK is a wrap, Slovakia is a wrap, and it went just how we thought. I mean, the rooms have just literally been scaling in size every new location we've been at. And we got Dubai coming in about a month. Lewis, are you finally going for sure? Yeah, let's go. Yo, so us 3 right here, we're going to be in Dubai. Like, I'm going to take the selfie. We're going to be posting it on the next Sunday Market Outlook after that. God willing, man. And I hope to see as many of you guys, there. I know it's a big trip. It's a big commitment, but being in the right zip code at the right time, guys, does a lot for you. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Oh, we got Dallas coming up too. I mean, my God, guys, like, come on. There's a place for everybody to get to, but we're just excited, man, because we'll blink and 2025 is gonna be here. But what we do right now is what creates the beginning of your 2025. Always remember, like, your results lag behind the work that you do. So the longer you wait to put in the work, you're just further delaying, obviously, where you're trying to get at, right? So let's take care of today so that tomorrow is set for life, all right? So appreciate you guys. Hope you have an amazing rest of your night. Brent, are you doing your Mindset Monday tomorrow? All right,
Yep.
there
See
you
you
go.
guys tomorrow.
So
Mindset
tap
Monday.
into
I'll drop it
Brent's
on
Mindset
Instagram.
Mondays. If you guys had never heard from Lewis before, because you guys probably have just never been exposed to him for whatever reason, now you know. So get on them London sessions, tap in with our guy right here, because this was just literally like the sneak preview of sneak previews of what he can teach you guys. But Lewis, thank you so much, man, for taking the time to hop on here. Brent, thank you for all you do, bro, as always. I'll see you guys in the chats and on the live calls this week, and let's run it up.